The Leopard 2A6 has appeared in 1/35th scale under the ICM name. What's inside the box? Find out here on Gary's Stuff. Hi there, I'm Gary. Welcome to my channel and welcome back if you've been here before. Today I'm looking at ICM's new kit of the Leopard 2A6 main battle tank in 1/35th scale. If you'd like to support the channel for free, best way to do it is to subscribe. Make sure you also hit the bell for notifications of new videos, and whatever you like here, please give it the imperial thumbs up on the like button. Okay, let's have a look at the new ICM Leopard 2A6 in 1/35th scale. Now the first thing to note is that this tank is a rebox of the 2012 Revell kit. However, in this offering, ICM have included their own brand new figure set of a Ukrainian tank crew. Also available separately is a set of ICM paints for the Leopard tank. This includes a black primer, German field grey, rubber black, oily steel, off-white and hull red. Let's have a look at the box. So here's the box of the Leopard 2A6 with Crew, the new Ukrainian set from ICM. Very nice bit of box art. The crew, some of them fixing something, some of them hanging around playing with the dog while it is being fixed. It is in 1/35th scale as it says here, and the code is 35013 should you wish to purchase one. On this longer side here, it says it makes a model of one of the best tanks in the world and one of the most modern tank of the armed forces of Ukraine. Different versions of the tank units in the armed forces of Ukraine. Most important, length 313 millimeters. It includes 246 parts for the tank itself, 45 parts for the assembly of 5 figures and 1 figure of a dog. Okay. The other long side has the 6 schemes or decal schemes that are included in the kit, but we'll be seeing that in a bit more detail later on. So why don't we have a look and see what's inside the box. As with most ICM kits, it's a top-loading box. It's quite a deep top-loading box, so it does take a bit of time to come off. Then there's a flap here at the front which links in. The large box opens up and the parts are inside. The box, as you can see, is usual for ICM. It's that nice double-walled cardboard. The parts in here, first of all, there's one big plastic bag. You can see it's a slightly scrubby looking polythene bag. That's not very ICM. That's for a reason, because this isn't actually an ICM kit. It's a Revell kit. So normally you'd have several clear cellophane bags with ICM. Here you have that one big bag of parts there. We have the ICM instructions here. Inside the instructions are probably some decal. Yes, some decals in there. We have some ICM parts, which are the figures, and you can see they're in this clear cellophane type of packaging. And there's a leaflet here about the ICM water-based acrylic paints range. So let's have a look at those component parts in a bit more detail. Frame A is here, and this has the 2 sides of the gear, where all the rollers and tracks and wheels and all that go. This is the base of the turret, various other bits and pieces and bits of track, things like that. It looks like a barrel clamp of some sort, perhaps. Anyway, there's some bits and pieces like that. The main parts will be these 2 side parts here and of course the base of the turret. This is frame B, and as you can see, it has the top of the hull, back of the vehicle, the underside of the hull here, and then just some bits and pieces, tools, a machine gun, picks, and so on and so forth, bits and pieces for around the tank. Frame C, and there are 2 of them, contain all of the wheels for the vehicle. Frame E contains the top of the turret, sides of the turret, that's the underside of the front of the turret there, the mantle, that's what it's called, mantle, you may have guessed I'm not absolutely au fait with some of these armour fighting vehicle terms, but I think it's called mantlet. That's right, it's mantlet, isn't it? That sort of sits in here, carries the gun. These are either cooling fans or something like that over the engine. Bits and pieces of the armour assembly, essentially. Frame G, as you can see, is primarily the gun barrel, but also some smoke dispensers up here as well. Frame H, I don't know what these are, maybe side skirts of some description. There is a frame L, but we only need these two little things here, number 159 and 160. All the rest of it is surplus to requirements. There's also in the pack a frame K, but this actually none of this is used. It's not even referenced in the instructions, so this is completely surplus. There are these two small rubber things. I don't know what they are. Maybe they're like mud flaps or something like that. Maybe going back. I don't know what they are, but there's two of them, and they're made in black neoprene. There's also these two of these black neoprene pieces that contain essentially a tow cable in the middle. You can see for yourself the parts to frame ratio is vanishingly small on this, but it is there. And there are two of these. And finally, there are four pieces of track. These are just neoprene bits of track that just sort of clip together, I guess, in some way. Just sort of clip on. To cover the whole of the length of the track on each side. And finally, there's a piece of clear acetate for the transparent parts you have to cut out later on. Have a close look at the plastic. This is the top of the hull. Edge now, it's reasonably nicely done. Not something I'd go, wow, that's incredible in terms of moulding. It's good though. It seems good anyway to me. I mean, again, I'm not an AFV modeler. Some of these parts here look nicely done. And these hatches and access points and all this look decent enough to me. Yeah, they look okay. The plastic looks all right. The colouring looks good. On the bottom side here, as you can see, Revell 1/35th scale Leopard 2, copyright 2012. That confirms what we had all suspected. This is indeed a Revell Reeboks. There's but it's not bad. Here's one of the machine guns. Looks okay. The plastic feels nice enough, and it feels a decent quality. You can see the markings on the gun barrel there. What you can notice if you look at the these holes here, just at this edge here, try and get that in the middle a bit more. You can see how in the middle of the, directly sort of looking down onto the barrel like this, they're perfectly round, but as you go round, they get more elongated. That's because the bit that does the hole can't be pointing in that way on its own, because otherwise you won't get the part out. It has to point downwards. So as you point downwards on a curved surface, the hole gets elongated. As you can see there and there as well, which is a pity. But there we go. That's just a matter of using a standard mold, and that is going to happen. Hopefully we won't see that and it won't be noticeable. But the mouldings elsewhere, like the smoke canisters, they're nice enough. Smoke grenade launchers. Okay. Some of these pieces, like the barrel clamps, look okay. They look nice enough. It's not. I'm not that familiar with a Leopard 2 A6. I could say these are particularly well molded or particularly not well molded. They look good enough to me. I am sure there's plenty of people who will be looking at it saying, no, that's rubbish. They've missed out this, they've missed out that. But to me, at my level of model making and my level of experience of AFVs, These look grand. It's absolutely grand. One thing I will notice, I will say, is you can see the moulding, this edge of the moulding of where the drive gear goes here, or the suspensions, whatever, where the wheels sit. It's all nice and clean. On this side, there's bits of flash here and there, especially around here. You can see there's quite a lot of flash there, which is, yeah, not absolutely all that nice. So for absolute cleanliness, you know, accuracy, you're going to want to clean all that off. It's not terrible, but it is there, which shows a mold that's been a little bit used. Getting bits of flash up here on the top there. It's definitely not supposed to be there. Otherwise, generally speaking, it's not a bad mold. It might just be this section of the mold wasn't terribly well put under the right amount of pressure. When you see little bits like that, it's normally a pressure issue in that area. But it's okay. It's nothing that can't be done. As I always say, I'd rather have flash than an undershot part, because I can always sand down flash. Otherwise, the parts seem clean enough to me. And again, the wheels, they're fine. There's a lot of feed gates, so each one of those is going to have to be sanded down nicely. They look fine. Again, I'm not au fait too much with exactly what a Leopard 2A6's wheels look like, but it looks okay to me. You're going to be able to weather those. You're going to be able to sort of put mud and dust and whatever else in there, and it's all going to show up, which is nice. But it's not too over the top molded. There's some little, I don't know if that's text or whatever details in there. I can't really read it myself. I'll wait till I've got this on screen. I can have a look at it properly. That shovel's going to be interesting to take off the frame, that's for sure. But there we are. They're molded nicely enough. They can all be weathered quite nicely and muddied up and dirtied up and just given a look of a bit of use on them, quite simply. This is the frame for the figures. As you can see, these are all the Ukrainian military figures and their doggy tank drivers and tank crew. Faces here very nicely molded, as you can see. And yeah, all the figure parts, as usual with ICM these days, will look great. The sort of the ruffling of the cloth there looks very realistic. Hands are very smart and neat. Again, faces, when we get it focused, there we go. Thank you very much. Focus on that. Yeah, very clean. Oh, and of course there's a dog figure here as well, which is quite fun. Dog sort of sitting up on its hind legs like that. Here's the decal sheet. Not all that much to go on, but there's not many decals for a main battle tank, really, you would imagine. So just a few decals here with some unit markings as well. But we'll have a quick look and see a little bit closer what they're like. So here's the decals looking a bit more closely. If I can get my pencil in here, yes, it's a 0.5mm pencil for reference. They look pretty nice actually, nicely registered, which is grand. Over here they're looking okay, looking like they've been painted on, which is exactly a whitewash and colour on top. Looks to me like they're probably not screen printed in these colours, they're probably dot printed, which means you can lose a tiny bit of definition. But these are absolutely lovely. You can get away with dot printing colour and then putting on a black on top to give all the sharpness, and that works really, really well. The instruction leaflet here for the tank is very fine. It's grand. It's got the usual ICM repeat of the box art here. Some information about the Leopard 2 here in English and in Ukrainian with some technical specifications. Colour callouts are in the ICM colours. You can go to their website and there's a comparison. You can turn it into other manufacturers' colours as well. There's the translation of the icons here and a link to their YouTube channel. Now, they haven't done a build video as they normally do on this because, of course, they didn't do the original CAD for the parts, so they haven't got the CAD files from which to make a build video. Inside you have the frame maps as usual, and then we have the actual instructions. These are, you know, they're pretty much the same as ICM instructions normally are, to be honest, which is quite interesting since it's not an ICM kit. The drawings are nice, they're clear, everything looks good. I don't think there will be much problem in building any of this. I think your issues are going to be connecting up the tracks, perhaps. I don't know. There's probably a way of doing it. Oh yes, those bits I was looking at earlier that I thought of mudguards are indeed mudguards. There's nothing on here that I can see would be too horrendous at the moment. Oh, that's interesting. That the remember I showed you those neoprene cables. There's actually sort of shackles in plastic, so you glue them into the plastic. So you've got the shackles at each end, then you can put them, drape them around the vehicle like that. That's kind of an idea, an interesting idea. Oh yeah, here are the things I thought were skirts, and indeed they are skirts. Yes, there's a slightly different design, presumably from the ones that were supplied with the kit otherwise. And making of the gun barrel looks all very straightforward. And it's interesting that they're telling you to put these aerials in, and they're essentially saying we'll make it out of stretched sprue, and they show you how to do it, which is kind of fun. I think it's really kind of nice, actually. And there's a thing for the window sheets that you need to do. You have to cut that out of the plastic yourself. Yeah, you know what? It looks straightforward enough. There are lots of parts, but you know, a lot of these parts you can put on before you start painting, which is always a good thing. Yeah. And I do love it that main battle tanks have rear view mirrors. I just love that. I don't know why. It's just very silly to me. I know it's for road use and whatever. But there we go. It just amuses me to have a rear view mirror on a tank. Anyway, then we have the colour schemes using their... Actually, it does look very German. I wonder if these are just basically just German tanks that have been driven over or trained over, and then just paint on some markings. That's it. Off you go. So this is summer 2023 around Zaporizhia. This is summer 23 around Robotynia. Autumn 23 in Zaporizhia. December 23 in place unknown, unmentioned, and here winter 24. So I guess that's the winter at the beginning of 2024 because it's like August. But that's where we got that really cool logo on there. I think that's nice. If I'm building this, that's the one I'm using, that's for sure. And oh, this one does it as well. Another one, winter 24, marking option 2. So there we go. That's the instructions for the tank itself. The instruction sheet for the crew is, as you might imagine, somewhat more basic. Here you can see this part of the frame you don't use. This is all the part of the frame you do use here for your tank crew. Color callouts here, again in ICM numbers. Unusually, there's a color that you actually have to mix up this grey-green, which is unusual for ICM. They normally have these colors already done. It's not the same as the grey-green they actually make. So it's a slightly different grey-green. Yeah. And then on the other side, this is the way they do figures. The numbers here are the part numbers. So you glue all these part numbers together. And the bits in the boxes are referring to the paint references. A lot of the paint just says pixel because it's a pixel camouflage they're wearing. And there's a shot here that shows you roughly what pixel camouflage looks like. How accurately you're going to be able to produce that, I really don't know. how accurately you want to produce it, I really don't know. But I guess you can give it a go and then just see what it looks like, maybe stippling the colours on or something like that. I don't know. Someone who does this sort of thing a lot will know better than me. Oh, and the dog as well. There it is, looks a pretty decent kit to me, and the very good figures give it both scale and context. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then please remember, do give it the Imperial thumbs up with a click on the like button below, and to support the channel for free, make sure you subscribe. Hit the bell and you'll be notified of all my future content. Thanks very much for watching, take good care, and I'll see you again soon. Goodbye.